Well, I came away from the Bills game thinking, that was a great season, good, wasn't a great finish, but they weren't going to get past this round anyway. So I came thinking, tough way to end the season, but a great season.
What do you mean they weren't going to get past this round? They should have gotten past this round. They got past.
I mean this coming round.
Oh, this coming round. I disagree with that as well. And listen, I've been on a heater lately. Everything I say is coming true.
And it kind of is.
I do truly believe that with what was left over, because we would have gone to Kansas City, we would have gone to Baltimore. Buffalo matches up well against both of those teams. It seemed to me that this season, the way everything laid out, the way everyone was playing, it was a season of destiny. And I legitimately felt that way at halftime. You were completely shutting down this Texans offense. I mean, for God's sakes, when it comes to this game, the thing that was the most frustrating for me, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent here.
It's okay.
You wasted one of the greatest defensive individual efforts in Buffalo Bills history. Jerry Hughes, with what we find out now, has torn tendons in his wrist and his hand, had 3 sacks. You got 7 sacks from that defense on Deshaun Watson.
You got to win.
How do they let it slip away? But to your point, as disappointing as it is, you're right. I'm not upset about how the season went, and it's a huge step forward that they needed.
And the thing is, I think next year, and we've talked about the schedule coming up, which is brutal. They got both the Western divisions. It's never going to feel as good, I think, because now the level of expectations can be raised for this team, and we're going to grind next year as opposed to just sitting back and saying, this was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a great run, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It really was. And like to Pat's point, the defense played amazing. And I think defense wins division titles. I think defense wins championships. I was a little disappointed in the wide receiver play over the weekend. I really, really was. Josh Allen wasn't on point in the second half. I don't know if they made adjustments against him or redesigned some of the schemes, the blitz schemes or what have you, but he looked like a deer in headlights to me. He really did that second half. But nobody stepped up and really made a big play. 16-0 at halftime, you think they're going to roll to the win. But kudos to...
Is anyone shocked about that lateral? As much as when he threw that, I said, that's to his point. He has totally lost his mind.
All right, I have to say something. I know a lot of Bills fans are upset with the way that Josh Allen plays. Feast or famine, Josh Allen, right? I love it. I hope he never changes. And I know it's not great for this team, but when I watch him play, knowing that when that ball goes up or when he takes off, it's either a 40-yard gain or he's going to throw the ball sideways for no reason, it makes me feel alive. Like, I'm alive again, man. Like, I love that kid. Never change. Keep doing it, and we'll just find a way to win. Just keep doing it, man.
Now, there's a positive side to that, because the first thing I thought when he did that, I said, the only other person I could think that would even attempt that was Brett Favre.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being a 3-time MVP and a Hall of Famer.
Well, he also was almost benched in his first start by Mike Holmgren. We've seen that audio of him, go get the kid. Wait a minute. And then it ends up working out. But, yeah, to your wide receiver point, I blame this loss on Bills fans, and here's why. In the 3 here's the 3 weeks leading up, and you guys saw this too. Bills fans were calling for wide receiver Duke Williams to be activated in play all second half of the season after he had that game winner in Tennessee. They activated him for this playoff game for the first time in weeks. Duke Williams, somehow was the most targeted wide receiver in the NFL in the wildcard round of the playoffs. And he caught the lowest percentage of balls thrown at him. You had a good thing going with John Brown. You had a good thing going with Cole Beasley. You inserted this new piece in, and it might have been what lost you the game. I love Duke Williams, but for God's sakes, why would you not go with what got you there?
Is that why you don't coach a football team by referendum?
You can't overcoach. I think part of their problem was Singletary didn't have enough touches.
Agreed.
In the second half. He was so dynamic the first half. He runs so low to the ground. He sheds a lot of tackles, and he's a big play guy that can get the ball in the end zone anytime he touches the ball.
You've never been a big fan of McDermott's in-game operation.
In all honesty, I didn't hate what happened in that game.
But these are his calls.
Yes, well, okay, offensively.
The Singletary and what you were saying about Duke.
Singletary, I don't understand, but I get, okay, you got a young quarterback. They were also behind the chains a ton. They took some penalties in the second half where you had to throw the ball 46 times, plus you're in overtime. I understand why McDermott was playing offensively conservative, thinking his defense would get the job done. You shut them down in the first half. You don't have to play aggressive, and you've been winning on your defensive laurels. It bit you in the you-know-where in the most important part possible. And hopefully, as much as I have yelled about McDermott's in-game coaching, that game is what teaches him the lesson he needed to learn moving forward.